I really see PRASE as an opportunity of capitalizing on our strengths and bridging to who we need to be today, tomorrow, in 5 years, and 10 years.
I know it's an opportunity to serve our students, faculty, and staff a lot better than we are, and to remove the boundaries that we currently struggle with.
Well, I have a pleasure to work with folks that are just so jazzed about stuff, and to get those folks jazzed again, focused and doing stuff that PRASE hopes to do. Really exciting. I think that's what jazzes me too.
From my perspective, this is a real institutional opportunity. It's an opportunity for all of us to contribute to making the better York that we've all been doing in bits and pieces over time. PRASE affords us the opportunity to do that, so I'm really excited and passionate about that. I think there's a commitment, a very strong commitment from senior leaders, which is hugely important. But that commitment is built on an understanding that it will be difficult, and that you know what to do first. And there's so many opportunities, and it's trying to highlight which ones will help us get there. And it's the challenge, I think, for us will be to make sure that people understand that we are committed.
Coming out of phase one, where we're just looking at what are the things that we need to improve upon at York related to the various administrative streams. We found out that we had a lot to do, but then sort of switching into phase two, where we're actually saying, okay, well, what are we going to do with this phase one report? What are we going to take on, and what is the approach, and how do we make PRASE meaningful for people?
What I've also said to groups that I've been meeting with is that we have to make some tough decisions. And on the one hand, you hear people saying, we have to make some tough decisions. On the other hand, there's a tremendous anxiety about that, and we need to figure out how to bridge those two things, whether through communications or systems or transparency.
A lot of people feeling more comfort coming forward when they feel that they're having a say in what phase two would look like, and I think that's key to phase two, is having had a number of people knocking at my door saying that they want to be involved, and how could they be involved, because they see this as a learning and growth opportunity.
Because I think some of the best ideas are really generated in various areas across the organization, and because we're all busy doing our work, what we think is best, we don't get an opportunity to go across the organization. We don't talk to our colleagues in another area to say, I've got this problem, how have you resolved it?
What everybody seems to be doing is thinking about how can we truly align our resources to our objectives, and how do we accomplish that best through our budget mechanism. So there's a lot to draw on.
The other piece of that is deciding what you're not going to do anymore. And a clarity of what you need to do at what standard or measure of success really does kind of sharpen your consciousness about what is possible and what's not possible. Honestly, that's been the biggest struggle for my colleagues who are passionate, invested, care tremendously about their work. What do we need to stop doing? In the Services for Students stream, we're really focusing on engagement. We're simultaneously focusing on two communities of practice, and one of those communities of practice is around advising, because what we've heard time and time again is that that's a major issue for students, and I think staff and faculty have acknowledged that we can do better and we need to do better. So in the most immediate terms, that looks like people doing frontline advising on campus, coming together to network and talk about potential longer-term solutions. The other community of practice is focused around peer mentoring. Peer mentoring is actually something we already do very, very well at York. We have adopted many of the best practices in the literature. So it's seen as an opportunity to just do better and to acknowledge our strengths and our capacity to change and adapt and be innovative.
For the accountability piece, it's really looking at how do we make decisions at the university, making sure that we have clear roles and responsibilities to individuals and to committees, making sure that we have administrative committee structures that help ensure that we're nimble and accountable to all of our constituent groups, and as well as looking at PRASE and making sure that everything that we do with PRASE has a clear accountability framework.
In my work stream, which includes finance, human resources, procurement, and services for researchers. There's a lot of work that has been recognized as needing to be done in those areas, working to build an administrative support structure that is high quality, that does respond quickly to those emerging pressures, to those I need to have it now because I've hired a research assistant and I need that piece of equipment. It's really important, I think, to start to build that trust again. That trust of we're here to work together to do the best work that we can do. And there's a real willingness in all of those areas to contribute to that in a focused kind of way.
Yeah, so my responsibility is to look at the IT stream in PRASE. So we've identified 4 areas that we're going to focus our work in over the next 3 to 6 months. Some of it folks are going to be really happy about. Yes, someday, very soon, you'll be able to click a button and change your password. As simple as something like that. The pain people feel in having to make a phone call or wait a day or so or 2 sometimes for a password to be reset, the amount of time lost at work, you can't get into your email, all those silly little threads that go to making your work frustrating here that are essentially those things that we're going to try to pull threads out and make better. Self-service items, things that folks can go into a website and easily find, click on a button, and stuff happens immediately. We're also going to look at how we do our printing on campus. The situation where we've got printers in every office, printers everywhere, network printers, fax machines, whole slew of things, and spending a good amount of dollars on the way we do that work. We're also going to look at how we manage our projects on campus. We know stuff happens, we know we're doing things in places, we just don't know how much of it and where. And I think once people get a view into the compendium of work that takes place, not just in IT, but in other areas as well, in different faculties and local groups, once we get a sense of, wow, we're doing a lot, I think it'll help us to stand back, look at the lay of the land a little bit, and understand where our priorities are, understand, get a sense of, are these things really aligned with the strategic objectives of the university? The fourth is a bit more nebulous to community because it's going to be more IT-centric. We've been great at fixing things in various faculty locations and centrally, but we've been horrible at understanding that we're doing it 10 times over in different places. Everyone's found the solution but a different way, and it kind of goes off somewhere. So if we had a body, a library, a catalog of all the known issues or known issues that you go to first. I've got this problem. Has someone figured out the solution already? Their first instinct is going to be to pull up that problem, look for it, and if there's a solution, immediately walk you through it on the phone.
In looking at reflecting on what PRASE would be, how would PRASE be successful, is that once we've actually gone through and implemented some of the changes that we're seeing people do more value-add work instead of busy work, that we're in a position to demonstrate the benefits of what we've implemented.
Success looks like our having been positioned to make decisions going forward. And I think some of those decisions will no doubt be difficult decisions because we have a finite amount of resources. And consensus seems to be that there are some things we're really not doing well, and doing it better is going to take time, energy, and human capital.
There's something a bit more subtle here, and it relates to what Janet was saying. It's a measure of how well we engage folks that I think is a bit more, less concrete to measure, but will pay dividends in the long run. Because at the end of the day, it's about how well students feel when they leave here after 4 years. And if after 4 years, we look back and they're leaving us a little happier, and the stuff that we do day to day lightens the load on our faculty body so that the work that they do is a little bit less.
We will be doing work differently, and we won't even know that we have made that change. That's what continuous improvement is about. So it's a new way of thinking about the work that we do. To me, that's what success looks like. It's just a high-performance organization that we all want to work in and become really, really proud of to have had a hand in it.
Success for me is always framed around when we actually get up at the top of the hill, that people start pulling us and they start grabbing a hold and saying, what about doing this? Can we start, so then we actually end up being facilitators and let other people lead. I think that is a big success. It's sort of a turning point for PRASE, which is longer term, because I think we have a lot of work to do right now to demonstrate that we are committed to doing this project, to making things better, to make York more sustainable and viable in the future.